Shalom. Assalamu alaikum, my friends. So today we're going to discuss what's going on in the world of inflation, prices, production. Why are the shelves empty? All this type of stuff. So they give you the excuse, your governments are giving you the excuse that it's a war, or they're giving you an excuse that your leader, because of some kind of legislation act that they've done, that's causing it. For instance, in America, the pipeline being shut down. So therefore, they use that as an excuse. Oh, the diesels can't run. The trains can't run. They can't bring the food, all this type of stuff. Okay, we'll discuss that. But I have this first question to ask the Muslim. In the hadiths, it is stated that Imam Al-Mahdi is from us. He is from my prodigy. Now, when I say this, you have to stop. Let's think about that for a minute. He is from my prodigy, meaning I am not part of a family other than this family. And that family being the Muhammad and Khadijah, right? And Fatima. That's progeny. That's who I'm from. Now, when you go and look at that family, okay, and you study that family and where that family is from. Now, if you go to Muhammad's family and you go to his grandfather, his great-grandfather, you find that it can't be from that because they practicing idol worship and they worshiped many gods. So when he's talking about he is from our prodigy, then let's go into what did Muhammad get married into? And there's the silver lining. So you have the understanding to go and study that so you can understand more of that true interpretation of when it says he is from my prodigy. Okay? So then you have the understanding of the beliefs, the things I have been taught from my lineage all the way up to now, and why I am the way that I am. All right? A lot of people, they say, are you a Muslim? Islam is number one. You will be a Muslim. You will be in Islam. You will be... And then let's look at the other hadith. The hadith says, it doesn't say that I am a Muslim. No, it doesn't. It says he will not be a practicing. He won't be practicing in your religion. But he is from my progeny. He is from my side of my family. Right? But he does not practice the things that my grandfather, I don't practice what he did. Understand? Now, the meaning. So let's get into the inflation and all the other stuff going on. Now, I want to remind everybody about the Antichrist and the Dajaal. This is a movement, okay? It's a movement. Everybody keeps looking for somebody. Oh, we've got to find somebody. The somebody you're looking for is the false prophet. This will be a guy that they've already working together. I have an idea of what they're trying to bring about and who it is that they're doing this with. But that's false prophet. He will be easy to fuck around with. But let's get into the movement, okay? So this Antichrist Dajaal movement is the actual thing that's causing the sirens. Hopefully no one is hurt, right? You know, we pray for them. All right, so think about it. I live right across. I have to say that all the time the siren go off. Maybe it goes off 10 times a day. I have to say that. You know, hopefully no one is injured. Pray for them. So in this movement, they are the ones that are actually causing what we're in right now. Okay, and I'll let you understand something. So back in the days, before we are up to right now, back in the day, we used to go to the grocery store to buy our food. And how that food and everything, and dog food, cat food, products, anything that's produced, how that's produced is in a factory or a manufacturing factory. And then this manufacturing factory sends this in through diesels or trains. And then this gets shipped out. So let's go with, how do you do that railroad? You know, we have a railroad, R and R. And would they have a thing on it like that or something? So we kind of get it like this. We'll put a little pole on it. So the railroad is the delivery. So this delivers to a retail company that's going to resell it back out, or a wholesale company. So we have the wholesale, which this means you're basically getting it straight from the factory, which will be a cheaper price, or you're going to get it through what America has created as capitalism. You will get it through a retailer. Now this is fine. This, fine. I have no problem with that. But this is where the Antichrist and the Dajaal interferes with this. Now, you have the same company. And we're going to use a small number rather than, let's say, we manufactured millions of items. Let's just say we manufactured 10. So 10 items are being manufactured, and these 10 items are coming from the warehouse. So we write right here, the warehouse, the manufacturing company is the producer of all of it. And they give that to the railroad, or let's draw a little diesel. You know, we have a little diesel right here. And the diesel man, he's driving down the road. And he has these big things on there with some smoke maybe coming out. Put him a little window. All right, so we have that. Now, the warehouse developing the product. Now, from the warehouse developing the product, of course, from here, that we can go back, because you're going to have people that have to mine the metals, if it's a metal thing, the farmers that have to farm it, these type of things. This will be on the other side. I'm not going to discuss that, but for a small bit, okay? So, for instance, if as long as this over here is producing in the quantity and quality the same every year, and let's say the population even rises, so they make for accommodation of the population rise, and they produce for that. So everything is in check, it's okay. Now the railroad's getting it. Now the truck driver getting it. It's being delivered to the wholesale and retailer. Now along the way here, what they're doing, what the Dajaal is doing, is in this part over here, we have billionaires that are buying up farmland, or foreign entities buying up farmland. Sometimes these entities that buy it are shutting down the factories or the mining offices, the mining corporations or whatever. They're stopping it. For instance, the pipeline, which is an oil production, they're putting a stop to it, which will slow the productivity down, yes. But just because let's say I have 2 warehouses or 2 manufacturing companies, I shut one of them down, the other one can still produce, if it need to, twice as much output, right? You understand that? If it needed to, it could produce twice as much. We may have to hire in more workers, but the factory can still produce that. It may take a lot longer. We may have to run the machines longer, these type of things. But it can still produce even if you shut those down. So regardless, let's say they're still producing 10 items. Now here's where the Dajaal gets involved in this. He got involved here doing that with the billionaires buying it up. Then over here in the delivery, what they have created, Bill Gates and Elon Musk and some other people, right? All the so-called wise guys, which are actually idiots. They have created the internet, right? The internet. And so right here on our delivery, now we're going to write the internet. And when the internet was created, what they also started to create were, first it started with just games. Angry Birds, this and that, or exercising, or religious books, Quran, the Injil, the Torah, apps that did this. So they created apps. And these apps are creating policies that are not part of your government law. Even though the government regulates it, or they say they're regulating it. Mind you, you see many people that are in power, they get in positions of authority, and they know that they can manipulate the stock market by getting information before anybody else so that they can buy and sell as need be, and then they still remain rich. So in these apps that they're creating, they have a policy, and the policy have these guidelines, and everybody's aware of policies. Like I have stated before, I can say, fuck you, you stupid bastard, in the public, but if there's a policy that is created in an app that says you can't do that, or you will be, your account will be removed. So all apps have an account. And even though you might not, like with games, might not sign up with an account, your Google account is one in the same account that is still signing up with these apps, right? Now, what these applications are doing is then you get another creator. So before, along with these diesels, right, we had other things. UPS. You know the UPS. You had CPL, right? CPL. And all these are corporations of capitalism. Let's say the truck drivers, there's not enough. So a person said, well, I can help with the delivery. I'll create UPS. And we can help deliver things. Fine, that's good. I can also help. I'll create CPL. I will help deliver things. Fine, that's good. Okay, that's good. Now, what they have done, though, now the Dajaal is getting active in this and messing all of this up because of these apps. So you have a guy named Jeff Bezos who creates an app called Amazon. Or you have an app called eBay. Or you have an app called Chewy.com where you get animal food. Or you have, everybody knows the apps if maybe you are part of the Dajaal app and don't realize it. What they will do in their apps now, this is what they do. So let's take, for instance, let's just use Chewy.com. Not that I'm targeting Chewy or anything. I'm just saying, let's just use Chewy.com. So in Chewy.com, so we'll write Chewy. Chewy.com is an app. Okay? And in this app, in order for them to deliver, now here, UPS and CPL, they don't have anything to do with purchasing something from the warehouse. They're only delivering what the warehouse is giving them to deliver somewhere. And they pay them to deliver it. This is not the same. These apps that are on the internet are not the same as these guys. What these apps are now doing is they have to have product to sell you. So that what they are doing is they are usurping, and I like to use that word, they are usurping. You know what that word usurp means? It means to overthrow or to go over the top, over someone's head. Oh, I'll go over you. I'll go and talk to your boss. You know, that type of thing. So they're usurping these organizations here by going over them and going straight to the warehouse, sometimes straight to the manufacturing company. Okay? And when they do this, now mind you, we have only 10 items. So I have 10 bags of, I have cats, so I'll say, I have 10 bags of cat food. I've produced 10 bags of cat food. from my factory over here, and it's going to be stored in the warehouse. What they do is they go and usurp these guys, go straight over here, and they buy the product. So let's say Chewy.com, I have only 10 items. Let's say Chewy.com buys 7 of those 10. How many left? I have 3, right? And now the 3 that are left, they go to these guys right here, right? So these guys get 3 that are normal delivery drivers. That's all they do. They're just delivering. They don't buy product. They just deliver product. They have 3 items to deliver. So when they deliver 3 items to the wholesaler retailer, let's say the wholesaler gets 1, the retailer gets 1, and then a mom and pop shop, which is called private, small business, they get 1, right? So now when I go to the store, to the wholesaler, retailer, or the small business, I walk in and the shelf is empty because someone has already bought that. Oh, now where can I go to find this item? I need this item. Go to Chewy.com, they say. So at Chewy.com, now here's where they are forcing you to join into their Antichrist, Dajaal movement. This is a forced takeover of how we work as a capitalist nation. So this is what they want to bring down, is capitalism. That's why you see all these guys trying to push socialism and communism so much in America. And this is why communism don't work. I'm going to show you. That's why you'll start to understand why socialism and communism cannot work. So these guys' 3 items are here now. Chewy.com. So they say go to that. So in order for me to go to that, let's say I'm a guy, I don't fool with technology. I normally go to the grocery store or somewhere else, and that's where I buy my product from. And I get a good deal of whatever the retailer is selling it. Now, the retailer is going to have to charge a little extra in order to make a capitalist profit. That's fine, as long as you're not overcharging me. But if you are overcharging, then we have an option to go to different wholesalers and retailers in our town, community, so on and so forth, to find the best price. That's why you get the Sunday paper. You look in the Sunday, oh, we have coupons, we have these are on sale, that's on sale. Hey, they have it cheaper than that store. Hey, let's go to that store rather than that store for that item. Okay? You see how this is how families work to try to save money. But here, whenever there is no more, and these warehouse resources of 10 items are now being depleted, and there is nothing on the shelf to buy, now the citizens of nations have to go to these apps. And these apps, the biggest one being Jeff Bezos. Now, as you see in the COVID lockdowns, you understand why Jeff Bezos made so much money. He profited so much because everybody had to stay home. They created fear. People were afraid to go out. So what did they do? They went online and they ordered their stuff. Correct. Now, when they go and they do this, you have to join in with an account, sign in. Sometimes you have to pay dues. Maybe like if you go to Twitter, you want to get the blue, pay dues, $8. Or any platform, go to Donald Trump's platform, $5, right? So they're charging you to get on the platform. Now here I wasn't charged. They did not charge me to have to walk into the store. I did not get charged. But here I'm being charged to use apps. So that's another fee. So let's write a 1 right here. 1, and we'll write that plus. So this is the normal fee from the retailer or wholesaler, and they have the coupons, they have this and that, so there's 1 for them. Now with the apps are adding another kind of tax. I'll call it a tax. The app is called using another tax, so they're going to add, let's say they add a 2. And the reason they add a 2 is because now Chewy.com, who has taken from these shelves and have hoarded, I like to use that word, they hoarded what could be sold to them. Now let's say no one buys some items from them and some of their stuff goes out of date. Well, where's that go? It maybe if they would have not done it, it could have gone here, and that person that went to the store and saw the shelf empty could have bought it, but it's not there, so it's not there. So these companies and these apps are actually wasting a lot of product. Wasting. Very wasteful. They don't care. As long as they're profiting, they'll waste. They don't care. Okay? So now they have added. So now this becomes 3. Right? So now I'm having to pay 3 times the amount of having to go to a direct retailer or directly to the warehouse. I have to pay 3 times the amount for the app. Why? Well, because the apps, they want to present themselves as wonderful corporations, so they want to have fancy packaging. Correct? And they have to pay, if they have their own delivery service, they have to pay for that delivery. So you're going to have to pay for the packaging now, even though the packaging was already packaged by the warehouse. Once the Chewy.com gets it, they repackage it in their package. Right? You see cat food. Cat food on the shelf, it's already in the bag, it sits there. When it comes to your door, it's in a box. Well, who's paying for that cardboard box? Well, you are, because they have to charge you for the things that they're doing in order for them to make a profit. Otherwise, they can't make a profit. Understand? So they're going to charge you of these 7 items now. Let's see, there's 7. You had 3 items here, which were sold at the retailer wholesaler price. The Chewy.com has to add another tax, so it write another tax in that manner, of their shipment, the shipment to your house, the fee to join up with them, or the delivery service for you. Now, Jeff Bezos owns pretty much the delivery service. You understand? So, Chewy.com goes to eBay or goes through Amazon. You go through them. Or if you go directly to Chewy.com, who is going to deliver it? If Chewy.com has their own delivery, you're going to have to pay that tax for that delivery. So regardless, you're now going to pay 3 times to 4 times the normal amount of price that it would cost you. And they have forced us into this. How? Well, you see how they forced you. They stopped these guys from being allowed to ship. So now they're forcing you to go on the internet where there's policy. That's a scary word. For you Muslim, go look in Revelation or Daniel. And you'll understand in Daniel when they're talking about the Antichrist movement, they're talking about he has a policy that allows the craft to prosper. So what is this craft? This craft is cheating people. This craft is deception. This craft is lying. This craft could be teaching kids CRT, teaching kids homosexuality. This could be the craft that the policy is there. Because you have schools, and schools have policy. So the people that have to follow the guideline of the policy of the school, correct? You understand? So this word policy is when you start hearing it on your news medias and all this, pay very close attention to what they're talking about, policy, and then find out, well, what policy they're talking about. Because we have a government, and now this policy is changing what I'm allowed to do in the real world. I'm now being drawn into this simulated, artificial world inside a screen, and I'm getting charged and robbed and beaten and everything else. Okay? That's why it says that the last beast that rises up will trample upon the people, devour its people. Understand? And that's exactly what is happening here. And it creates the hardship for corporations and companies. A classic example of this would be McDonald's. Okay? Now, McDonald's sells hamburger meat, which comes from the cow. If you go to the grocery store, the cow, the burger, is now up 3 times. Notice that? 3 times the amount. But with these certain corporations who are part of this programming, these corporations are allowed to buy up all the hamburger meat because they need it to run their business. If the warehouse only gave the hamburger meat to wholesaler reseller, then we'll call McDonald's kind of like an app, only it's a reality app, right? It's a better thing than these, but it's still in the manner that if McDonald's buys up all the hamburger meat, you go to the grocery store, retailer or wholesaler, the hamburger meat's not in the store. Why? Where's it at? Who bought all of it? Well, these restaurants did that needed to produce I'm missing the word, profit. They have to make a profit, and so they have to hoard. Again, this is hoarding again. And you know what God says about hoarding things? Not to do it. So they have to hoard, and then what do? They're making these hamburgers, and at the end of the night, I've worked for restaurants many times. My whole life, pretty much, I've as a cook. And when you go there, at the end of the night, things that are not sold, what do? Count it, throw it in the garbage. Why count it? Well, because supposedly the company will get a payout for whatever it did not sell. Wait a minute. You're giving them free money? They charged me for the hamburger, but at night they throw away whatever they don't sell, and then it's used as a write-off. It's the same way with theft. If someone goes to a store, they steal, they write it off after they've counted up their items, they write it off, and then they get their write-off later on when the next purchase of a large quantity does. So this is why we're actually seeing price. It has nothing to do with war. It has nothing to do with it. It has to do with the Dajaal Antichrist movement. It's doing this on purpose. And you clearly, how I have shown you, this is the way they're doing it. This will destroy us. Now, Dajaal wants to add in another thing. All right? Now, you understand how that works and how they're trampling upon us and hurting us in this manner. Now, if there is no food at the wholesaler retailer and it's only here, the hamburger meat is only at McDonald's, and you want the hamburger meat or you want the cat food, where do you have to go? You're forced to go. See, in the end time, it says he will force everyone to receive a mark. And you can't buy, sell, or trade without that mark. What is the mark? Well, these apps now, what these apps are trying to do, and if you look at Elon Musk and Twitter, this is why I've always kind of said to you, Elon Musk is a wicked man. I don't care what he tries to glamorize or say that he's on your side or this or that. No, he's not. Because a lot of people don't understand this, so not understanding any of this, what I'm teaching you, you'll fall for this, guys. You'll fall for him, thinking, oh, look, they're saving us. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And in reality, they're charging you an arm and a leg for their bullshit. And next thing they know, this is where I've tried to explain to the senators and the House of Representatives, you guys better do something and do it very quickly. Otherwise, we are fucked. Big time fucked. And it's going to bring about the civil fucking war. Right? So what it is these apps and Elon with Twitter are now trying to use a different currency. So for instance, if in order for you to pay $8, you're using your credit card. Your credit card is on the US dollar, or it's on your Dutch mark, or it's on your yen, or it's on whatever currency that you're using, your rubies, or anything that you're using, right? What these apps are now going to do is they're going to inject another kind of currency. So these apps who have all the product, they can sit there and say, we no longer take the dollar, the ruby. We no longer take your currency. You have to have Bitcoin. And this is what Elon Musk, he's pushing really hard. So we are right over here. Bitcoin. You know, you got that other guy, Fried, and he did some stuff with cryptocurrency, right? And now he got in trouble. You see what I'm saying? This was this and that. So with Bitcoin, they're now going to use this to force you into a currency. You won't be able to buy, sell, or trade. So let's say you have a US, I have $100 in my pocket, man. I'm going to go to the wholesaler or retailer and I'm going to go buy me some cat food. I'm in a good mood. I got my money. I'm going to go to the store. So we go there. We look at the shelf. Nothing there. Now I feel depressed. Now I'm feeling sad. Do you see how Dajaal works? Now I'm sad. I walked all the way down here. I came all the way down here. I spent my gas all the way down here. And nothing's there. He's forcing you now to go into the apps. So I have $100 in my pocket. What good is my money? The only thing the app takes is Bitcoin. So what will they make me do? They'll make me take my money here and transfer this into a Bitcoin or some kind of digital currency. And in this digital currency, they will be able to shut you off if they want. Because you can't take it and carry it in your pocket and say, look, I have some value. No, this is just numbers. It's in the air, floating around in the computer. Who knows? Somebody hack in, take all your Bitcoin money. Somebody hack in, take all your currency. Now you broke. Now you can't go anywhere. You can't buy anything because of it, right? Because you could not physically have that which is valuable in the world. Is being owned, is being taken, is being taken from you by force and given over to the policies of the apps. Okay? So in this process of this is going to destroy the world's economics of their currency. It's going to annihilate it globally, man. Globally. And then you're going to understand and realize that these guys eventually, they can charge you whatever they want. That's how Elon Musk, he's a smartass. You hear what he say? Someone says, oh, I don't want to pay your $8. And remember what he said to AOC? Well, thanks for your input. Now pay $8, motherfucker. Otherwise, you can buy, sell, or trade on my app. Fucking Dajaal. Like I say, I'd like to meet these guys out in public. I really would. I can't say what I do because I say, oh, that's hate speech. I really would like to meet them out in public, though. Come face to face with Imam Al-Mahdi and watch. Because I know what they're doing. And it pisses me off. Because the sheep are so ignorant and dumb. They walk around blinded. You know, they bah, bah. Go over here, sheep. Go over here. Bah, bah. Yes, master. Yes, master. Bah, bah. Forcing you into a pin. This is their pin. Forcing you into a pin. Locking you up. Telling you, you pay this or you get nothing. This is what they're doing. Globally. Globally they're doing this. And no one's doing anything about it? Why, people? Why is the world not waking up and putting a stop to this crap? Why are the people saying, you know what? We're getting rid of digital and we're going to go back to papers. Paper. What was wrong with paper? Well, it's hard. With paper, you know, there's the paper trail. But in the computer, you can smash your phone like Hillary Clinton did. You can try to get rid of it. But you know, the paper files, the classified documents that they had was paper. So look how they got caught. If it had been on computer, no one would ever have known. Unless a computer guy, like that guy that gets into Hunter Biden's computer, sees certain things, right? That's the only way. But the only way that he could have access to your computer is if you handed it over to them. Otherwise, it's mine. I can bash it up, break it. They'll never get into it, never see anything. Right? You understand? So they've got you locked in a pin now. This is what they're forcing. This is slowly going to happen. You will see this. You will see this happening. And when they drive the prices up so high, and they start controlling people, and the shelves become so depleted, and the people they don't care for the internet. The people don't care about getting online to go buy their items. They don't want to. Now you're going to have a struggle. You're going to have a civil war taking place. No taxation without representation. Where's the representation for paying $8 to Elon Musk? Where's it at? Huh? You don't have it anymore. That is part of, and people don't even understand that. That is your constitutional right. No taxation without representation. Yet these jackoffs, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, all these billionaire guys, Bill Gates, what are they doing? They're telling you what to pay. and taxing you on the pay of your product that you're getting from the warehouse. And if you don't want to, and if you're still fucking around and you still not want to join up with us, then we're going to shut down even the farmers who are making it. We'll buy up all the farmland and then we'll shut down all of the factories except for the ones that only provide to our apps on our Google App Store or our Microsoft or our Apple or whatever. You understand? You understand? And this is in the book of Revelations in the Injil for the Christian. This is where it is stated that he will give a mark, and he will put the mark on your right hand or upon your forehead. Now, this could be a lot. I'll get into that. So first it's going to be physical stuff, and later on with Neuralink that's being produced and crypto vaccine that Bill Gates is producing. These things will be kind of like a chip or a mark or a tough. The word is tough. So for Cain had a mark added to him, and that mark, that tav, meaning was a chromosome was added to him. So if we look at it in that manner, some way on us, something is going to be added to us. And that will be taking the mark of the beast. Beast is the governments. Understand that? So it's the government, whoever's running this show, is the one who's telling you you can't buy, sell, or trade unless you have the mark. And later on, this mark will become some kind of digital thing. They've already been using it. You can scan they got things, you can scan your hand to buy your stuff. They have cards, you scan your card, or you have a cell phone. That's the biggest one. It's in your right hand. Right hand, everybody, mostly people right-handed, carrying your cell phone around. Whenever you make a Go payment or something like that, what do? You're scanning your phone. Oh, your right hand scanning it to buy. It's already here. It's already available. They just haven't taken it here yet. Because they know that when it starts being like this, all the mu'min, all the believers are going to understand it. And they're going to be like, whoa, no, no, no. And then that will bring up no taxation without representation. This will bring up everything that America was about in the very beginning of her birth. It will bring everything back up again, and it will create a civil war. And from that civil war in America, that's going to spread out into everyone's nation. You have to understand that. That is one of the reasons, kind of like why Russia and Saudi Arabia and these other nations have joined into a thing called BRICS, is to hopefully try to keep that from happening. Okay? So that way they will have their own currency. They won't use Bitcoin. They won't use any of that. Now, but mind you, even within BRICS can be infiltrated by Dajaal, and it'll go back to the apps again. So even if you go to the BRICS and you look at, go to a foreign nation, how do you buy your food online? What is it called? What do you have to use to pay for it? Right? So the BRICS will have to come up with all that type of stuff. But it's still, all of this is still going to lead to putting you in a pin. It's still going to lead to putting you in a pin and oppressing you and forcing you to buy, sell, and trade the way that they want you to. Okay, everyone? Does everyone understand this? This is the truth. Everything else that people have been saying about all this is nonsense. It's nonsense. Hocus pocus, a lot of it. This is exactly what is happening, and this is the living proof. You can go out in the real world and use what I have taught you in the real world. People who have said, oh, the Antichrist will rise up. He will cut a man in half and then put the man back together and everyone will see it. That's witchcraft. That's hocus pocus. That's nonsense type shit. Okay? So you can clearly see that when you're reading in the Word of God, make sure that it fits the living of what the people of the earth do rather than the imaginations of what we imagine we can do. All right? Make sure you always remember that. If it doesn't fit the living word, it's a lie. It's a lie. Get away. So, I hope you've all have understood this. I will conclude this video, but as I said before, remember, as the very beginning of this video, I said to you, Muslim, I understand you wanting me to be in your religion so badly because you cling to your dead man grave. I understand. If I was in a group and God had never came to me and to explain to me what was going on, I too would be wanting, like for instance, if I was a Christian, I am going to say Jesus loves us because we follow him and he only likes us. He likes no one else. And you have to come and be a part of our religion in order for Jesus to like you. That's wrong. That's wrong. And if I'm telling you that's wrong of the Christian doing it, Muslim, it's wrong for you to do it as well. It's not truth. Okay? So when I understand. I mean, man, if Jesus was walking around and I was a Jew during the time, I was following the Torah, right? And I'm living there, I'm following the Torah. And Jesus is there and he comes and he's following the Torah too. I'm going to be like, I'm going to be like him, man, because he ain't no wrong guy. So we're going to do what he's doing. And that way I can guarantee my place amongst him. Right, you see? But that doesn't guarantee anything. Just because you're a member of something doesn't make you a guarantee. It's your life, how you're living, what you're doing with the word that has been given to you. Even though you might have been in the fitna, like I have told you, God will judge that of the heart of the man. But now, in this later period, I am coming out, man, and I am marking you, Mu'min, Kafir, Mu'min, Kafir. You understand how it works? To deny the words of truth makes you a kafir. To accept the word that the Most High God speaks makes you a mu'min. Regardless of whether it changes, For instance, with Moses. Moses had a law and he gave the certificate of divorce. But what did Isa say about that? Isa said Moses was wrong. Moses was a prophet. Another prophet came and said that Moses was wrong. He gave you that because of the hardness of your hearts, it is written. But from the beginning, it was not so. From the beginning, it was not so. See, so sometimes the prophets, even though they're good and righteous and try to be, sometimes because God does it, God's doing it, right? So he can later on reveal his great glory behind it all. But he does doing this and allowing the prophets to sometimes make a mistake and he won't correct it. He'll just let it go, and then it'll get so crazy. Eventually, he'll send another, and he'll correct that. No, you cannot do that. Moses was wrong. And that's what Isa said. So Muslim, and no other prophet has done this to another prophet. The only prophet who has ever said another prophet was wrong was Isa, Jesus, Yeshua. Why? Who gave him authority over the prophets? Think about that for a minute, Muslim. He has authority greater than the prophets. Allahu Akbar, greater. So Isa is greater than the prophets, and Allah, the Spirit that is in Isa, is greater than his flesh. Remember that always, because a lot of people, you're denying flesh. Fine, deny the flesh, say he's a prophet, say he's not God, do the whatever. But in that flesh is Allah, Akbar. in that flesh is Allah Akbar. So when Jesus is saying the Father is greater than I, he is basically telling you the Father, the Spirit, is greater than the flesh. Do you understand now, Muslim? He is the Son. He is the Son. But in a manner of spirit speaking. Flesh-wise is meaningless. Allahu Akbar. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum.